Yeah, we received a call around 1:30. I think it was actually 1:26 for exact time or close to that, for a reported possible structure fire. So when our crews responded and arrived, they did encounter smoke. There was 3 occupants in the building, but they had got themselves out. They had evacuated. So when they started to do their size up and started to look around, the fire was a little tough to discover because it was down in the basement. And basement fires, of course, are very, very dangerous, and especially you can see, like an older type residence like this, some of the basement areas are really tight, and that's where the fire was. So our crews employed what we refer to as positive pressure attack, and were able to vent the building and then locate the seat of the fire and get down in there and contain the fire to that basement area. So good work in the crews, because it was a tough fire.
Certainly very lucky. Was there any issue with the furnace, or were you able to locate the cause of this fire?
We had basically the fire is undetermined at this time. We believe to be probably accidental in nature to some point, but it is or was being investigated by our fire prevention division.
Any foul play suspected
here? It's not believed
here?
to be it. No.
No.
Yeah.
And what are we looking at sort of in the initial damages, and is it inhabitable at this moment?
It's not inhabitable, but they have the crews in there right now, the restoration crews, doing what they have to do to get it back up to living standards. We're guesstimating probably somewhere in the neighborhood of about 70,000 damage. Yeah.
This time of year has to be quite active for the fire department, especially with heaters, etc. Any tips that should go out there aside from of course you say this is probably accidental?
Well, yeah, again, it's undetermined. We're not 100% on that, but it is undetermined. But yeah, I mean, people have to be careful any time of the year. Basically, you know what, we have situations where you're dealing with electrical components, or you're dealing with candles, or any of that sort of smoking articles. All that stuff is the same story all the time. Be careful, make sure you treat things properly. Make sure you have the smoke alarms in your house, the CO alarms, all the proper detection that's required.
How many guys were out on this fire?
Well, initially we responded 12, and then the third station we also responded because when we determined that we actually had a fire, we brought the third station in. So that gave us 16 on there, and then of course myself and the training officer were on call to come in for accountability and incident safety. So all said and done, there'd be 17, and at the time we bring in the fire prevention officer, we're in that number area. But we do keep the third station here on standby in case we have another call to respond to.
And how long did it take you to knock down this fire?
They had it knocked down pretty quick once they found it. When it's a basement fire like that and you have smoke on the main level, you got to go looking for the fire, and it can be very, very difficult and time consuming sometimes. But the guys did a really quick job of locating the fire, and with a positive pressure attack, it increased our ability to visibly see where the fire was and get down and get at it. So they did have it under control fairly quickly.